This video is on 5B. We're going to learn the concepts of quantity, quality, and distribution as those pertain to categorical propositions. So the quantity of a categorical proposition is just whether it's a universal or a particular proposition. So if I say all cats are mammals, it's an A-type proposition. That's universal because it's saying something about all the cats. If I say some cats are mammals, that's particular. Universal and particular are the two options you have for quantity. So you're not really thinking about, numerals. You're just thinking, is it universal? Is it particular? Is it talking about all or some members of the predicate of the subject class? And of course, if you have like a no statement, you're saying that's equivalent to saying all cats are not mammals. That also is universal. So quantity comes in two flavors, universal or particular. Quality simply has to do with whether the proposition is affirmative or negative. Is it saying what things are or what they are not? If I say some cats are mammals, that's affirmative. If I say some mammals are not cats, that's negative, because I'm saying what they're not. So quality also comes in these two flavors, affirmative and negative. Quantity, universal, particular. Quality, affirmative and negative. That brings us to our next topic, almost. We're going to transition into the concept of distribution. But first of all, some terminology. The quantifier in a categorical proposition is the term all or no or some. Those terms are the quantifiers in a categorical proposition. The copula is the term are or are not. That copula joins two things together. In this case, the subject and the predicate terms. That's what are joined together. Now, we say that a class is distributed when a categorical proposition asserts something about every member of that class. We say that some particular class is undistributed when the proposition does not assert something about every single member of that class. This is, I think, the most confusing concept maybe of, certainly of 5B and maybe of the first half of the chapter, is this concept of distribution. And so, let's do some examples and look at it in a little more detail to try to get our heads around it. Okay, so let's look first at A-type propositions. Which terms are distributed in A-type propositions? Well, let's check them out. We've got this one, A-type proposition, all cats are mammals. Now, an A-type proposition is saying something about every member of the subject class. It's saying something about all of the cats. Namely, it's saying that they are mammals. Now, is it saying something about every member of the predicate class, mammals? Well, no, it's not. It's not saying that, well, all the mammals are cats. It's not. We don't know anything about all the mammals. We only know something about all the cats from this proposition. So in any A-type proposition, the subject term is going to be distributed and the predicate term is undistributed. Let's turn now to E-type propositions. These are the ones, this is the type of proposition I think where you might, it's a little harder to see. But if I say that no turtles are mammals, that's equivalent to saying all turtles are not mammals. In other words, I find this easiest actually with a picture. When we learn about Venn diagrams, you'll see the picture of this. You're actually saying something about every member of the subject class, turtles. Namely, you're saying that every member of the turtle class does not belong to the mammal class. You're saying none of them fall into that circle of mammals. On the other hand, you're also saying something about every member of the class of mammals. because you're saying, look, every member of the class of mammals is outside of the turtle circle. None of the mammals belong to the turtle class. So in any E-type proposition, both the subject term and the predicate term are distributed. Let's turn to our particular propositions. I-type propositions, those say that some S are P. For example, some students are sophomores. Now, in this case, neither term, neither the subject nor the predicate is distributed. Why? Well, you're not saying something about all the students, only about some of them, at least one of them. You're not saying something about all the sophomores either. You're just saying that at least one student is also a sophomore. But that doesn't tell us something about all members of either class. So for all I-type propositions, neither the subject term nor the predicate term is distributed. And now, actually, this might be the most confusing one conceptually for me, maybe just a personal issue. O-type propositions, some S are not P. For example, some cars are not fuel-efficient vehicles. Okay, now let's start with the subject term. Are you saying something about all the cars? No, you're not. You're just saying something about at least one of them, namely that at least one of these cars is not fuel efficient. Are you saying something about the entire class of fuel efficient vehicles? Actually, you kind of are. Actually, you are. You're saying that something is true of every member of the class of fuel efficient vehicles. Namely, you're saying that it excludes at least one car. There's at least one gas guzzling SUV out there, which none of the fuel efficient vehicles are that vehicle. If that doesn't like conceptually quite click for you, then just memorize it. Namely, all O-type propositions have an undistributed subject, but a distributed predicate. They have an undistributed subject, but a distributed predicate. Here's the summary, all right? A-type propositions, the subject term alone is distributed. In E-type propositions, subject and predicate are distributed. In I-type propositions, nothing's distributed. And in O-type propositions, only the predicate is distributed. That's the executive summary. That's what you need to know. It's best if you understand it, but memorization will work. Sometimes rote memorization works. All right, let's do some practice. Oh, wait, before we do that, mnemonic device, like a memory trick. You can remember something about distribution. Something. So the SUPN, code, what am I looking for? The mnemonic device, here's what it stands for. Subjects get distributed by universals. Predicates get distributed by negatives. If you can remember that, if you remember SUPN, subjects get distributed by universals, predicates get distributed by negatives, that'll be the solution for, you'll be able to figure out all the distributions. So you can either do raw memory, you can memorize the mnemonic device, or you can just conceptually understand distribution. I don't care how you know it, just know it. Let's do some practice. Example 1. What's the quality, quantity, and distribution of the following categorical proposition? First of all, let's start with quality. Remember, there are two options for the quality. What are they? The two options? That's right, it can be affirmative or negative. So what's this one? Oh, look, it's negative. That's right, so the quality is negative because it's are not. It's saying what protein supplements are not. What is the quantity of this categorical proposition? Remember, you got two options for quantity, particular and universal. Which one is this? Yes, very good. It's particular. because it's talking about what some of the subject items are. Now, for the really powerful move, which of the terms are distributed? This is an O-type proposition. It is a particular negative. So what is distributed? That's right. This is the tricky one. The predicate term alone is distributed. Healthy diet aids alone is distributed in an O-type proposition. Good. Okay, now let's look at example 2 here. We want to change the quality of this categorical proposition, but not the quantity. What's the quality? First, we got 2 options. Quality is affirmative or negative, which is this. Yes, it's negative. So if you're going to change the quality, you want to switch it from an R naught to an R. What would that leave you? Yes, very good. Some protein supplements are healthy diet aids. It's that easy. It's that easy. Let's do some more. Next, change the quantity, but not the quality. Now, what's quantity? Universal or particular? What's the starting quantity here? Some, that's particular. Now let's make this universal. What if we wanted to say all protein supplements are not healthy diet aids? That would be changing the quantity, but not the quality, right? Because we took it from a particular to a universal. But what is that equivalent to? I mean, we don't typically talk about all S are not P. What do we say instead? That's equivalent to saying no S are P. In other words, if you change the quantity but not the quality of this categorical proposition, you get no protein supplements are healthy diet aids. The way I said it was, all protein supplements are not healthy diet aids. Those are equivalent. So that's where I find that helpful to know that the all are not is equal to the none are. Example 4, change both the quantity and the quality. Okay, so we want to make the sum into an all. We want to make the R naught into an R. And what does that give us? Yeah, all protein supplements are healthy diet aids. Be able to do all that. I know you can. Great work.